Hey, what's up guys? I'm ika.himee and welcome to my channel. So I wanted to do a new thing. I wanted to do Speedpaint Storytime. And what Speedpaint Storytime is I record a Speedpaint and I also tell you a story for the duration of said Speedpaint. So these will be stories from my life, provided I can think of enough of them. I know that I have like lots of stories, but I was trying to think of a story for this video, and for the life of me, I couldn't fucking think of anything. Like, my mind has been a blank for like 2 days, and it sucks ass because every time something happens to me, I'm like, man, this is gonna be a good story one day. And when I actually try and remember that fucking story, I can't remember shit. So, yeah, that's been driving me nuts. So I decided to go with like that one story that I can remember that would be moderately entertaining, and that would be my most embarrassing story. People like hearing about embarrassing stuff, right? It's always a fun time. So this takes place back in high school, you know, when most people's embarrassing shit happens. Um, so I was like a junior in high school, and I don't know how other high schools really do their class situation, but like we had 2 semesters, and like the first semester was going to be 4 classes and the second semester was going to be a different 4 classes. Unless you had a year-long class, then you had the same fucking class. It's not rocket science. But I don't know which semester this takes place in, because like I don't have an accurate timeline, and because the only thing that I could really think of to compare is like clothing I would wear to like accurately display what semester it was, because there was the fall winter semester, and then there was the spring summer semester. So yeah, that doesn't work because I wore the same shit year round. I wore fucking jeans and usually a t-shirt with the fucking gray pullover. Like all year long. So I always had this like really ratty dark gray kind of thin pullover thing, and as the years went on, the zipper broke on it, so its only function as a fucking keep you warm jacket was that fucking zipper to zip into a turtleneck, and it fucking broke, so it's basically useless now. But it was like, I don't know, it was like a comfort thing. I would hide in a fucking pullover, and that was it. So I wore this thing year round, and I remember having it in that class. So I don't know which semester it was. I really don't. But it was one of them, because this was a while ago. But yeah, okay. So what our school does when it comes to like exams is like we'll have like Monday will be like a regular school day, so like that's fucking cram day. That's the day everyone fucking hates because you get loaded with a bunch of shit review work from like the entire semester that you didn't fucking pay attention to class, and now all of a sudden you gotta fucking pay attention. So yeah, Monday was never fun, but then you get to like Tuesday would be your first period exam, and then like Wednesday would be your second period exam, and so on. And exam days, like, some people hated exams. I didn't mind exams. Like, taking the exam wasn't fun. It was like the fuck off time after the exam was over that I enjoyed, because like you didn't have to do anything. The semester was over. You didn't have to think anymore. You're done. You're fucking done with that class. It's over, and you just get to do whatever the fuck you want as long as you're quiet until it's time to go home. And those days were always half days. Like, all you did those days was take your exam for that class, and then you would just go home. So usually we would go home somewhere between the hours of like 11 o'clock and like 12:30. One time I think we were stuck there until 1 because some asshole couldn't fucking finish his test early, and we're like, what the fuck? But yeah, I think that was the only time. Usually we got out at like 11:30. But anyways, so this takes place during exam time, and at the time I was taking a scientific visualization class. And if you don't know what scientific visualization is, it is like your it was like a graphic and 3D modeling class. Like they teach you all that shit, the graphic design, how to use fucking bullshit programs that you don't want to use, like Corel Photo Paint. Like, fuck that program. Fucking hate it. Anyways, so yeah, like, but if you aren't familiar with public schools, I don't know how private schools or anything like that or specialty schools are run, but like if you're not familiar with public schools, to actually learn anything useful in these classes, you have to take like all of the classes. And I only took one class. So like the first class is like the bullshit class. That's like the introduction to shit. So you don't learn fucking anything. So like I'm sitting there and like all the graphic stuff is like a breeze for me because I was an artist. Like, wow, I had to draw fucking grapes with an ellipse tool. Like, how hard is that? Anyways, so, you know, that was a breeze. And we got like one week to work with like 3D modeling before exams. So I didn't learn shit. I don't know anything. And that was the only reason I took that fucking class. Anyways, so we get to exam day. And that class was so easy. I took the exam. I swear to God, I think I finished it in like, I don't know, an hour tops. But I think it was like freaking half an hour. It was a breeze. So, you know, after you're done, you're allowed to do whatever you want as long as you're quiet. So what I would always do was, like, I would bring a sketchbook with me. Now, like, I took art classes at the time, and so I had two different sketchbooks. I had my art class sketchbook, and I had my personal sketchbook. And so when I was in art class, I would usually have my art class sketchbook with me. But because I didn't have art class, because it was exam time, I just took my personal sketchbook with me. And anyone that knows me from about 4 or 5 years ago, I was like, ooh, I was a major ecchi artist. Like, it was, oh god, it was sexy ladies all the time, all day, all night, make it rain fucking sexy ladies. And that was basically what my sketchbook was filled with. And like when I'm at school, I wouldn't draw like sexy shit. I did once, but like she was clothes, so it was fine. But like I would just draw whatever, like just, you know, tame stuff, nothing too big of a deal. Well, I had my sketchbook out and I was doodling, and I was like waiting for people to finish their exam, and I think at that point everyone in the class had finished their exam, because I remember, like, I think we had to, like, wait for people to finish their exam before we could go to the bathroom, unless we wanted to fucking, like, fuck. Damn it. Escort. Fuck me. Oh my god, I suck at words. Okay, unless we wanted a fucking escort to go with us to the bathroom. So, I, like, waited, and it was... yeah, so like immediately after the exam was over, I was like, hey, Mr. Jones, can I go to the bathroom? And he was like, yeah, sure, whatever. So I close my sketchbook, and I leave it on my desk. So, you know, typically a closed sketchbook is like, you know, uninviting, right? You know, no one's gonna fucking, they're like, oh, it's closed, must be private. So I go to the bathroom, and the bathroom is like right around the corner, and I'm like, I get a drink of water, because I'm like, fuck it, I'm thirsty, I'm gonna get some water. So I got some water, I went to the bathroom, and then like, I don't know, I was gone maybe like 3-4 minutes or so, and I come back into the room, and there's this crowd of people around my desk, and like I had a friend on each side of me in class, and like, oh god, they had this like horrified look on their faces as they're like staring at me like this. Oh my fucking god. And I'm like looking, and I see my teacher, and he's like at the center of the group, and he's like flipping through my sketchbook, and I was like, my first name, like, oh my god, my heart rate like skyrockets, like holy shit, like, you know, like cartoon hearts, it was like fucking pounding out of my chest, like, oh my god. So I'm like, oh fuck, oh no, oh my god, I'm gonna get in so much fucking trouble, oh my god. Oh, this is bad. This is really, really bad. And at this point, like, people have started to notice that I have returned to the room. So the other people, and it was like mostly guys, because that class was mostly guys. So they're like looking at me like, what? And then they slowly dissipate, and I get to my desk, and I just kind of stand there awkwardly looking at my teacher flipping through my sketchbook, and he closes his sketchbook, like he didn't have it like flipped open, he was just kind of like flipping, like thumbing the pages and shit, and I was like, oh fuck me, oh god. And he looks at me and he's like, I didn't know you were an artist. And I was like, Yep. Yeah, I'm an artist. And he's like, cool, you do some good work. And I'm like, thank you. And he's like, we should do some more figure drawing practice though. And I was like, okay, I will get right on that. And so he kind of, he like walks back to his desk, you know, that's like the end of that conversation or whatever. And like I sit down and like at the time, like one of my friends, she had, I don't know where she went. She was MIA for a few minutes. I don't know. But my other friend was there, and I looked at her and I'm like, "Oh my god, did he see everything?" And I think she was like trying to spare me the embarrassment or something. She's like, "Oh no, he didn't see everything. It was fine. He didn't see anything." And I was like, "Oh, thank God. Oh god." Oh, I was so nervous. And like even right now telling the story, like remembering it, I'm kind of nervous. But like and then my other friend, she comes back and she's like, she looks me like dead in the eye. She's like, "I gotta be honest with you. He saw everything." And I was just like, fuck. Oh god. So like it was a super awkward day. I like, oh god, I decided that I would just spend that day figure drawing instead of, drawing anything I wanted to draw, because that was fucking awkward. So, yeah, but, the end of that day came. I got to go home and, whew, oh god, that was so awkward. He never said anything about it again. I never had a class with him again because I decided to graduate early, and I don't think I could take a class with him senior year anyways because of my other classes. But yeah, so that was the end of that. Even though he was like a really cool teacher, and like clearly, as you see, he didn't like flip a tit at the fact that I drew like lots of titties, but whatever. It was still awkward. So yeah, that's my super embarrassing story, and I hope that you enjoyed this super embarrassing story. And I don't know, it's like one of those stories, it's like it was really embarrassing when it happened, and like I'm one of those people, I got like that anxiety where you hang on to an embarrassing moment forever, and every time you think about it you get embarrassed. But like this is that one story where it was really embarrassing when it happened, and then even as I think about it, it's like it's less embarrassing. Like I don't get that crippling embarrassment feeling that I would get when I think about other stuff. But I don't know, it's still embarrassing. Anyways, so now that I've rambled on and shit, thank you guys so much for listening. I hope that you enjoyed this story, and if you have any ideas for another story you want to hear, please suggest them so that I can, access my memory and bring back more stories for you guys, because I fucking can't think of shit. I really can't. I'm so sorry, but yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. All the links to my social media and shop and Patreon and shit, it's all in the description for you guys. Subscribe if you like my videos, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.